It is not appropriate for no romanticism. Ain't nobody getting wet that way.
Oh
It's just not.
well,
That's how I feel. I was looking for it and it didn't happen, and I'm like, shoot.
So come on in and sing along. You know you're about to hear your favorite song. Hey, let's all kick back, and let the music flow. Let the music flow.
Welcome back to another episode of the Compareoke Lounge, original versus cover. I'm your host T, this is my co-host G, and we are on a mission from God. In this series, we go over a song with two versions, and we decide which one is best. Which one do you like best? We're going to give you our opinions, and we want to hear yours. So please do let us know, and this time, our song that we're going to go over is Feel Like Making Love, Bad Company, and Kid Rock. So we're going to listen to both of them, check them out, say what we want to say about them, and we want to hear what you got to say too. Which one is best, y'all?
I'm trying to remember when I first remember hearing this song. It was probably, could have been, because it came out in like 1970, 74 or 75.
I did not realize it was
Yeah,
that old.
it's that old. I was pretty young when it first came out. So I wasn't really listening to that type of music yet until I was more or less in late grade school, junior high, that type of thing. But my sisters were listening to that type of rock and roll and other stuff, so I was exposed to some of that stuff through them. I remember hearing like Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time in the mid 70s. I think I was like 6 at that time when I heard that song. That song kind of made me break down a little bit, as a kid.
Break down?
Yeah,
How do you
because
mean?
it was a sad song. Part of it was real
Yeah.
sad, to me as a kid, it sounded, oh my God, I just killed the man, mama, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
come to
I
think
was,
of it.
yeah, and I was like, man, I had to go outside. It was crying, I didn't want to cry for my sister or my brother, like, oh God, I'll look like a wimp.
Sissy!
I mean, I can definitely see that happening with that song. That's a great song.
Yeah.
I didn't probably know that song until Wayne's World. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's when I found out about that song. So that was in the 90s, right? But I can definitely see a 6-year-old when it first comes out. Kind of reminds me of a song that came out when I was 6 that kind of did me in a different way, which was, it's the earliest song I ever remember. The Eurythmics. Sweet Dreams.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.
It's a great song, and it didn't make me sad, but like, I don't know. I didn't have a feeling because I didn't know what he must be smarter than I am, because for you, well, I guess the lyrics are actually more straightforward in that song, and it's like a telling and a confession and all that, so I get that. But like with Sweet Dreams, it was just a little vague a little bit, so maybe I didn't get it, but I love the beat. I know that much. I love the beat, and it was just like intoxicating. But like, I can see how like you as a child can be affected by a song like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we correlate Queen to
Well,
this
I mean,
song?
because they're similar as far as their rock styles a little bit, we're very popular around the same time frames. I can't really remember if I heard that song with listening to that type of music with my sisters in the 70s. But I know by the time I was in junior high in like 81, 82, I was familiar with that song. Definitely in high school, it was a popular song. It was still popular. Even 8 to 10 years after the song first came out, it was still a popular song. I think it's one of those timeless songs to me. We'll talk more about it after we get into it.
Yes, let's do get into it. I know this song. I've heard it before. It comes on the radio and stuff. I know what it's going to sound like, so I really look forward to getting to compare Bad Company, which I didn't know about this band and who it was by and everything. It's like he just kind of reminded me of what Bad Company was. And I'm like, I as far as describing what hard rock is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, I want to hear more from them. Turns out I already know them. So,
Yeah.
but I look forward to Bad Company and Kid Rock. But let's take a look at Feel Like Making Love, Bad Company.
Mm.
Baby, when I think about you, I think about love. Darling, I don't live without you and your love. If I had those golden dreams of my yesterday, I would wrap you in their heaven, but daily dying on the way. Feel like making, feel like making love. Oh yeah, feel like making love. Ooh. Feel like making love. Feel like making love to you. Baby, if I think about you, I think about love. Darling, if I live without you, I live without love. And if I had the sun and moon, it was shining, I would give you both night and day love satisfying. Feel like making, feel like making love. Feel like making love. Yeah. Feel like making love. Feel like making love to you.
Harmonica action.
Gotta love that.
And if I had those golden dreams of my yesterday, I would wrap you in their heaven,
I think I could pull off those
daily dying
Type
on the
staging.
way.
Oh, yes.
Feel like
Yes.
making, feel like making love.
Yes.
Feel like making love, love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love to you. Oh, feel like making love.
It's just one of those
Ah,
songs that gets to me every time.
does
Every
it?
time. I love that song. And that I don't think that was a live performance I mean,
Okay.
as far as in front of an audience.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it looked more like a studio type of setting,
Yeah.
to me. But um, I don't
Almost
know
like
for
a
sure
promo
because
thingy.
because if it was in front of an audience, you would hear them reacting, don't you think? So
Unless they just cut it out. Editing.
who knows? But I get the sense that it wasn't in front of a live audience. But that's
I mean, I've heard this song before. I suppose I want to say in passing. And I definitely am really learning about what is considered hard rock. I don't know if it's like what's signature for the band or what's signature about this song. I like that it has such contrast to me where this makes me think folk, blues, hard rock. Like the slower part, it just reminds me of a nice folk song. It kind of brought me back to when I was like 18 and I was discovering and being introduced to things like um who sings Magic Carpet Ride?
Steppenwolf,
Steppenwolf and like
Credence.
Credence Clearwater Revival, stuff like that. So like that's what that kind of brought me back to that part of it, and then the latter part was just like I would say classic '70s hard rock. Like I've heard a lot of things like Queen, and who I love,
Yeah.
and it's almost like uh, almost half folk and almost half hard rock with a little bit of blues in between, like with the riffs and a little
Yeah.
like going through. So I like that kind of rhythm about it. Well, I kept thinking about also the lead singer,
Paul Rogers.
Paul Rogers.
Mhm.
He has he's not like a dancer. I don't know how else to put it. Like
Yeah.
he's not a dancer. He's
No.
not like somebody like a David Lee Roth or a Mick Jagger or something. You know what I mean? Where like
Yeah, they're
he's-
not dancers
or
either,
even,
per se, but they
Freddie
do
Mercury.
move around more.
yeah, they move around more. So I'm just
he
like
moved around a little bit there.
He
but
did a little
not
bit. He's
quite
just
to
like-
the extent they do, right?
I'm like, okay, you're chill.
Well,
He's-
that first
he's a chill
passage
performer.
when he goes like he puts up his one hand and he goes,
Yeah.
and he goes back,
And-
it's
and
like that
that-
was fucking badass. But
Okay.
it just I'm like that had to make a lot of women swooning,
What's-
back then. But
I was swooning.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fairly romantic,
Uh-huh.
frankly.
So you got two songs. You got a ballad,
Ballad
and a rock,
and a rock song.
rolled together.
I
And
definitely
that's-
see how
yeah.
you compare this to Bohemian Rhapsody because it does
It goes.
a lot of different way.
That song goes through a lot of different
lot of
stuff.
different
Yeah,
things.
that's a crazy song.
but definitely
I
also
mean,
the
good song.
ballad and rock part.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
the bass player at the end, the lead guitarist was just going off at the end. I love how he did some ad libbing there, and so does Paul Rogers with the vocals and the harmonica. Something that you don't hear.
Harmonica's really nice.
You don't hear that on the radio version or the
Oh.
studio album version. It's not in there. So,
'Cause I never thought
so
I
I
heard
really
that before.
appreciate that guitarist. I can't think of his last name, and Simon Kirk is the drummer. I can't think of the bassist name, but he looks a little creepy in there because the way
Right,
I mean,
I feel like I
if
missed
you
something,
noticed it. Well, just remember the Monty Python movie where they're
Which one?
I don't like the Holy Grail or whatever.
Okay.
Where they're on these toy horses and they're acting like they're getting bitten.
I vaguely
I mean
remember that, yeah.
that's the way he was moving up and down. It was just kind of creepy how he did that. He had this weird look on his face, but it's just, I mean, he's
I didn't
playing
even
his
notice
ass
that
off,
at
but
all,
you have
but
to
okay.
look at it. When you go to look back at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I most
But it's-
certainly will.
it's kind of comical when I think, but the way Paul Rogers looks at Matt, the lead guitarist there at the end, he like gives him this nod, and it's like, man, that is so fucking badass. It was just, I mean, they were getting into it and I mean, that's classic rock right there. Kid Rock's one of those artists that gets animated himself, and whatnot. So
Does he?
yeah, he does. Oh, and concert and stuff, he gets all crazy and stuff. I've seen him at times. So it's going to be interesting, the studio version he did of it, and he does kind of like a sexy video, and he's got models in his video and stuff. But
So we're gonna see how Kid Rock does it now. Feel like making love, Kid Rock.
Baby, when I think about you, I think about love. Darling, if I live without you, I live without love. If I had those golden dreams of my yesterdays, I would wrap you in the heavens until I'm dying all the way. I feel like making love. I feel like making love, love, love. I feel like making love. I feel like making love, love, love. I feel like making love to you. Baby, when I think about you, I think about love.
he had his hair across his face.
Darling, if
But
I
he wasn't
live without you,
any more animated than Paul
I
Rock.
live without love. If I had the sun and the moon, and they were shining, I would give you both night and day of satisfying. I feel like making love. I feel like making love, love, love. I feel like making love. I feel like making love, love, love. I feel like making love to you. And if I had those golden dreams of my yesterdays, I would wrap you in the heavens until I'm dying all the way. I feel like making love. Baby, feel like making love. Yeah. I feel like making love, love, love. I feel like making love, 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 love. I feel like making love, love. I feel like making love to
All right. I mean, he got into it there. but was he animated? Not even as much as Paul Rogers was, I don't think, but I've definitely seen him move around more on stage in other songs, but of course without the guitar probably. So because he had the guitar, that's probably why he wasn't getting crazy and moving all over the stage.
Do you want to do your vote first?
No.
Okay. I'll be happy to say what I got to say. Won't I? Okay, so Kid Rock is so cute. I forgot how cute he is. I'm just gonna say I'm going with the original because he's like Kid Rock. He's cute, like meaning he's attractive, and he has decent presence. It wasn't that much different than the first one as far as stage presence with the lead singer, but the guitar work was good. It was competent and it measured up, so to speak, in my opinion. His ballad singing, as we put it, was good, but that part where it goes hard rock with his screamy metal voice, it just simply was not complimentary to me.
Yeah.
Which I probably am thinking of like metal or other types of more modern hard rock, meaning like 90s, 2000s today and all that stuff. But it didn't match. And so it doesn't, to me, seem as romantic. And I don't think it was intended for him to do so. He was evidently doing it for some sort of show. And it was just like, hey, let's watch Kid Rock sing this song from the 70s by Bad Company, and it'll be neat, right? And his voice was more appropriate. It still sounded sexy, for lack of a better term, as opposed to somebody screaming like that. And it was powerful, but not like Kid Rock was powerful too, but just not sexy. I don't know what to say. It is not appropriate for no romanticism. Ain't nobody getting wet that way. It's just not. That's how I feel. I was looking for it and it didn't happen, and I'm like, shoot. So I'm just going to officially say I didn't think about it that long, sir, and I didn't explain it that long. I'm going with the original because it was definitely more. I was definitely more enamored. Let's say you, brother.
Well, yeah, the original is the better of these two. There's no doubt about that. But the thing about this Kid Rock performance, because comparing it to the studio and official video he did to his cover of it,
Okay.
was probably better. Of course, he's gonna be. I feel like he's gonna scream that part. That's Kid Rock. You know?
And he screamed good.
Yeah,
it just wasn't appropriate.
Right. Well, the way he was screaming there was almost unintelligible. He was like losing his voice, and so it wasn't as good as even the recorded album cover that he did of that song.
I look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, you should check that out. It's better.
Okay.
His vocals are better in that. To me, that was a typical rock ballad in the beginning, in those passages, for the Bad Company version, where this one with Kid Rock, it had a country flair to it. The guitar work and the bass, all that, it sounded like a country song. But when they get into the rock, they're blending rock with country there. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting. It's not a bad cover, but it doesn't compare to the original with Paul Rogers and the guitar, and Simon Kirke is just an awesome drummer for that band. And he went on and stayed with Bad Company, and they had a different singer after Rogers left, and they had some good music that came out with them. After that, I really loved later on in late 80s. A great band, and they kept the Bad Company name, and Paul Rogers went on and did solo stuff and worked with other artists, after he left Bad Company. But the original Feel Like Making Love here, obviously it's a win-win for me and T. So.
Yeah, that's what we decided.
No
So
doubt.
what say you? What do you think? Hey, did Kid Rock do better? Are we full of crap? Let us know what you but let us know what you think regardless. Which one do you prefer with Feel Like Making Love, Bad Company, or Kid Rock? I want to thank you again for joining us here at the Compareoke Lounge, original versus cover. I hope you had fun with us today. If you do, make sure that you click the notification bell after you like the video and after you subscribe to us, and help us grow and everything. And we could just sit up there and hang out together for 20 minutes talking about a song. And also be sure that you check out Karaoke Night, which is another show that we have here. Thank you for joining us. We miss you. Like, we know it's been a minute. We thank you for your patience and everything. And stay tuned next time. We're going to come up with another episode soon.
Yep.